do we do with those? Okay? So if I look at number 7 here, what are some ideas you guys have about how we attack something like number 7? Ava?
Divide -3 on both sides.
Nice job. Okay? Now, let's clarify from yesterday to today. Yesterday, I would have gave you this problem and said -3 plus h. We were either adding or subtracting. Okay? Today, I'm giving you a problem, and in the middle, instead of having like a plus, there's a time symbol there. We don't write that time symbol, but it is there, a multiplication symbol. So you have to realize that the number is -3. We're not going to be adding 3 to both sides because it's not an addition-subtraction problem. It is now multiplication and division, which means we're going to be multiplying and dividing to undo things. Okay? So on number 7 here, she's right. Ava was right in saying we're going to divide both sides by -3. Okay, again, if you need to draw your wall, draw your wall. Whatever you do to one side, you need to do to the other. All right, Ava, did you get an answer yet for that one?
Yeah, I got -13.
Good. So -13 equals h. And that's your answer. Okay? Again, keep in mind we talked yesterday that you can be checking these by plugging this guy in right here and seeing that -3 times -13 does indeed equal 39. So we know that this works. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you have extra time on a test or quiz, you may want to think about checking some and make sure you're getting the right answers. Okay? All right, so now on number 8. What do we think here on number 8? Monica, what do you think? Okay, I love it. She says multiply by 7 because, and this is something a lot of us don't always connect. Guys, anytime we have a fraction, it's just saying divide. All right, so this fraction bar right here means division. Okay? Now, I would change it up a little bit though. Instead of just multiplying by the 7, multiply by -7. Okay, so take care of that negative and the 7 all at the same time. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -7. Now, you can think of it as -7 over 1. It's the same thing, right? 7 over 1 or 7 will be the same thing, okay? So the 7's will cancel. If we think back to our days of fraction work, okay, you can always cross cancel. So I have t left on this side. And Monica, what would my answer be on the right-hand side there? Positive 35. All right. Okay, does anybody have a question on number 9? Okay. Number 8. Okay, number 9. What do we think here? Number 9. Colin, what do you think?
I think you have to multiply 3 over 5.
Close. Anything else you want to try? Okay, you could technically, because this is saying 3/5 times k, right? You could divide by 3/5. Does anybody remember what do we do when we have like -6 divided by 3/5? What do you have to do? Okay, well we put it over 1, then what happens?
You change flip.
Okay, change flip, right? You have to multiply by the reciprocal, is how we say it now, right? Multiply by the reciprocal. But instead of doing all of this work, who wants to do all this extra work? Because then all of a sudden you've got to take -6 times 5/3. You see what I'm saying? You're doing a lot of extra steps. So let's kind of backtrack here. What could be a faster way of doing it? Something. Galen?
Multiply 3/5 by 5 over 3.
Good. Just go straight to multiplying by your reciprocal. All right? Don't worry about doing all that division work. You're doing extra work. So go ahead, and I don't got a lot of room here, but you're going to multiply by 5 over 3. All right? And then on this right-hand side, I'm going to do 5 over 3. Okay?
And then cross cancel.
Good, Dalen. So Dalen says, look, those 5s are going to cancel out, and I'll go to what? What if 5s cancel, what do we get there? 1s. Okay, I'm not going to write the 1s, but usually you know we get 1s. What about our 3s? Okay, they also cancel to 1s. So on this side, you have a k. All right, now again, stick this over 1. Nick offered that up earlier. Stick this over 1. What do we do with this?
Cross cancel the 3 and the 6.
Okay, Dalen, good. Cross cancel the 3 and the 6, and when you cross cancel that, what'd you get?
1 and 2.
Okay, good. A 2 and a 1. Okay, so we're just reducing, cross canceling. And then once we cross cancel, what do we do?
Multiply straight across.
Good. So -2 times 5 is? Not 10. -10. Now, can you say -10 over 1? Yeah, you can put this over 1 if you want, because 1 times 1 is 1, but we're not usually going to put a division of 1, because it doesn't change the value. So we're just going to leave our answer as -10. Okay? All right, does anybody have a question on that? All right, I want you to go ahead and try number 10 on your own now. Number 10 on your own. Very similar to number 9. Over here. You're right. You are doing 3 over 2, that's fine, but really you're multiplying, you're not, you're multiplying the negative 3 over 2 on this side. So you're gonna be here, you won't put 3 over 2 as well. So you can multiply the fraction across. It's on the same side as your variable. Yeah, so you want to do this guy isn't a variable. Wherever that variable's at, you want to move that little bit, okay? All right, does anybody have something they want to try here? What do we think? What would you do? Anybody besides Ava and Dylan, because they've already answered something. Dylan, sorry. Pharrell, what'd you do over there?
I multiplied, I divided, 3 over 2, multiplied, I divided -2/3.
And so then what did you do now? When you divided by the 2/3, you multiplied by?
3 over 2.
Yeah, there you go, good. All right, so we're gonna multiply by -3 over 2. Now guys, keep in mind, wherever that variable is, that's the number we've gotta move, right? We're not moving the 4, okay? Alex, you know better. Yeah, right. Thinking about how comfortable your head is on that desk. Basically, yeah. Okay. All right. So these cancel out. Just keep in mind that's all getting recorded. So your little mommy, we can just have her pull that up and we can talk to her about why you're sleeping in class. It's on camera. Congratulations. Right now. What? All right. So we multiply by 3 over 2. So now what happens? Can we cross cancel anything? No. So Brown, what'd you get for an answer there?
3 over 8.
Good job, 3/8, and it should be positive. Negative times a negative is a positive, okay? All right, number 11. Okay, first thing it asks us to do is define a variable. So 2/3 equals -8 times a number. Define the variable. How do we find variables on something like this? This is a review from yesterday. This is not new. How do we define a variable on something like this? Ava?
You like put like n equals a number.
Good, so n equals a number. Okay, so now it says write an equation. So it says 2/3 equals -8 times a number. I want you to go ahead and write that down. You come up with your own equation.
Will we have to do that on the test?
Yes.
Okay,
It'll
so-
define the variable. It's an easy one. It's okay.
So- Okay.
Okay.
Do you have to put n for a number?
No, you can put any letter in it. Any letter will work. That's fine. Okay, now write your
Do you
equation.
want us to solve it or just write it?
Why don't we stop? Let's make sure we wrote it first right. You know what I'm saying.
Miss, only do something slightly for that other one. Okay. Okay.
All right. Who wants to try to give me an equation here? What's an equation? Monica, what do you got?
2/3 equals -8n.
Good, okay? All right, so on your test, this will be 1 point, this will be 2 points, and now you're going to get the third to solve it correctly. Now, ideas. How are we going to solve something like this? Because to be quite frank, I don't like trying to take and divide both sides by -8. I mean, that's what we're doing, But this just looks nasty. So how can we do it so it doesn't look so ugly?
Put 8 over 1 and multiply it by 3 over 2.
Ooh,
Well, both sides by 3 over 2.
not 3 over 2. You're right. You put this over 1, but what's on the same side as your variable?
8 over.
Oh,
The 8 over 1. So what would you multiply instead by?
1 over 8.
There you go, good. Okay, so now multiply both sides by negative 1/8. Keep the sign with it, right? Okay, so multiply by negative 1/8. So those 8s will cancel out, right? Okay, does anything cross cancel here on this left-hand side?
2 and
The 2 and the 8. So what does the 2 and 8 go to?
1 and
1.
1 and 4. All right, so now what would my, I'll put you on the spot here, what would my final answer be when I multiply across? Nice, negative 1/12 would be your final answer, and that would be your third point on a problem like this, okay? All right, does anybody have a question so far about all the things we've done? Doing good so far? All right, last one, yes? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, anybody else have a question? Okay, so number 12. Now, this is that real world thing where we talked about if it could happen outside the classroom. We have the 4 steps. Can someone tell me what our 4 steps are?
Define a variable.
Define a variable.
Write an equation.
An equation.
Solve and write your solution.
Oh, good. Solve and then write your sentence. Guys, it's right, man, it's right there for crying out loud. Okay? So make sure you follow those 4 steps when the directions ask you for it, okay? All right, so Allison is making a stained glass window. Okay? Her pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. She has 288 square inches of blue glass. If she intends to use all of her blue glass, how much glass will she need for the entire project? So let's start with what are we looking for?
Glass.
Oh, be careful though.
How much glass you'll need?
Yeah, for just glass, right? Not blue glass, but we need the total amount of glass, okay? So let's put G, and we'll call it total glass, or total amount of glass, okay?
So what are we doing? 28, times, I'm at 288 times, 1/5.
I don't know. What do you think? Okay, let's think about this for a second. It says that she has 288 of blue. So should my answer be more than 288 or less than 288?
You lost it.
Huh?
You lost it.
Okay, so should my answer be more than 288 or less than 288?
Less.
Okay, are you sure? If you've got 288
Oh, no,
of
more.
just blue,
More.
okay, so if 288 equals blue, our total had better be higher, right? Okay, so now if we take 288, which was what was over here, times 1/5, isn't that the same thing as just taking 288 over 5?
Yeah.
Is that going to get you a higher total?
No.
No. So I know without doing a whole lot of work here, I don't need to answer, I know that this can't quite be right. Okay? So now when I'm looking at this, okay, I want you to kind of focus in, and I can't put it on the screen, so you're just going to have to kind of look here. Look on line 2, and you're going to need to mark this. Find where it says 1/5 of the glass. You guys see that? Okay, highlight it. Mark it. 1/5 of the glass. Now, what does of mean?
Equal.
It means to multiply, right? So of means to multiply. Alright, so let's think about this for a second. If my original variable, we said G was for total glass, 1/5 of glass. 1/5 G. I mean, it's right there in the wording. It's telling you exactly what to do. Okay? And so when I do that, that's 1/5 of my total, should be 288. Okay, so now what are we going to do? How are we going to solve this? Okay, Nick, how are we going to solve this? Sit up for me, please. How are we going to solve this problem? What are we going to do?
Times 5/1.
Good. Multiply by 5/1, so those cancel, and 5/1. So in reality, it doesn't matter if the one's down there or not, we need to take 288 times 5. Does that make sense? Okay, so what is 8 times 5?
40.
40, so carry your 4. 8 times 5 plus 4?
44.
Good, 44, carry your 4, 2 times 5 plus 4. 14. So my glass